Okay, we are back. We are dudes on dudes fighting. I'm Robert John, and this is my co-host Stu.
Let's set this party off right. Tyson Fury versus Deontay Wilder. What a fucking fight!
It was probably the most boxing event of all boxing events. Like
Oh
12
my.
rounds of the best cat and mouse, like who's gonna fall first fighting, and then complete bullshit decision.
Yeah, I think that
I fucking loved
we
it.
just like the way we even built this up last week when we did our bonus episode. I think it really the fight lived up to what we were looking for.
Oh,
It was fucking incredible, and a lot of people were maybe thinking that if it was going Tyson's way, it would be a bit more boring because he's such a great defensive fighter, kind of like a giant white Mayweather. But man, there was fucking barely a second of no action in that fight, and like you said, I don't know about this. Like the judging in boxing is so fucking ridiculous. Like, how can they be so far off on all
yeah.
three of them?
Yep.
Like, it's just so for those of you who didn't catch the fight, obviously, it went to a draw. It looked to me like Fury controlled maybe 10 of the rounds, maybe 9.
Yep.
Like, but Wilder hit him with two vicious knockdowns, and in the 12th round, Wilder, I thought he had him out for the count, and Fury got back up and he boxed his way out of that 12th round. It's not like he stood there
No, he didn't
and
just
just
buy time or anything. No,
no.
no, no.
They fought until the end, and he really lost or he took the draw like a true champion too. Like, he wasn't complaining when everybody knew
Everyone's
that.
booing. Yeah,
Yeah,
the only rounds I gave to Wilder were the knockdown rounds, and you would give those 10-8s. So it's
mhm.
just like, okay, maybe the one judge that called it a draw, the way the math lines up, like if you gave Wilder two 10-8s and one 10-9, like I think every judge gave the first round to Wilder, which I disagree with.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then the one judge that has Wilder ahead by like 6 rounds is like, what the fuck fight was this guy watching?
I think it was a Mexican judge.
Oh, there you go.
He yeah, it has nothing to do with it, but he has all the first one, two, three, 4 rounds going to Wilder,
Yeah,
which just
I did
it
not
just
see that
wasn't
at
how the fight
all.
was going, man.
And viewers can go back to last week. Like, I was on Wilder's side. Like, this is not just like, oh, I'm a fucking Gypsy King fan and that was a bullshit. It's like, no,
Yeah,
I fully picked Wilder to win. I didn't think Gypsy King, Tyson Fury showed the same level of competition like in his two like warm-up fights that he
no.
did in his previous career. Like, I think that 2-year layoff like really took a lot out of him. I didn't think he could do it. But me
This
and me and you were texting the whole fight, and after the first round, I was like, "Holy fuck!" Like, I think Wilder is intimidated. He looks really like trepidatious. Is that a word? Like, he
I
just looked
back it.
like he looked like he was.
Trepidatious.
Yeah, he just looked like he was a step behind. Tyson Fury's doing his like almost Mike Tyson punch out style, like shaking, shaking,
Mm-hmm.
shaking, and then he's gonna hit you with a weird combo. And Wilder just stood there, and he would do his like attack, and then Fury would counter and hit him, and it's like, fuck, I think Fury's winning this fight. I
And Fury was putting together beautiful combinations, and with power too. It wasn't like a lot of those combinations were really powerful hits.
Yeah.
Wilder didn't want to come back with much because every time he was getting inside, Fury was boom, 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 back off, boom, boom, boom.
Yeah.
This was the most entertaining big scale fight since a Mike Tyson fight. and like in our bonus episode that we talked about last week,
Right.
this is exactly what we wanted out of the fight, and this is what we were scared of what was going to happen.
Right.
Another great boxing match, fucking destroyed by horrible judging.
Yeah. And leading up to the decision, like there's a point when I'm like, I don't want to say it because I'll jinx it, but like there's a chance that this decision is gonna be fucking bullshit. But
If
not like Triple G and Canelo won. Like I thought this was
yeah,
way more obvious that Fury won. So I'm like, I don't even need to say that. Like obviously Fury won. He's celebrating. Wilder is, a little bit bummed. Like they both know.
but Wilder, when they did the decision like that, this is how much it goes to show that it was clearly a Fury win. Like when the decision was a draw,
Yeah.
Wilder celebrated like he just had fucking won this. I guess he did win the world championship,
Well,
but
he maintained it.
he
Yeah.
maintained it, and it's just. Man, I just don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It would be different if it was all the scorecards were 113, 113. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Those guys saw something else. It at least matches up. But with two of them having essentially exact opposite scores
Yeah.
on the card, like
Yeah.
it just. For professionals, this just really it's fucking a disgrace, man.
It's a head shaker. But it's so common that it's not even a head shaker.
Well, that's the thing. I
That's what's
wasn't
so
surprised.
frustrating. You're just like, when they announced a split decision, I'm just like, come on. Like, it's not that close. Like, this is Fury. And then
Yeah.
when it gets to a draw, it's just like, oh, of course. This is a fucking replay of what happened a year and a half ago so that they can build up another rematch, huge pay-per-view. Like, it's completely obvious what's going on.
And they could have
They
they
couldn't.
could have made this like it's not like there isn't another great fight in line. Like with Canelo Triple G, there's not a huge fight to make afterwards. Like Anthony Joshua is waiting in the shadows for these guys.
Well,
There's
that leads me to
huge
believe
fights.
that there was like a discussion with Joshua and they couldn't like figure out what was going to happen. And then, instead of paying Joshua the fucking 20 million or whatever he needs, they're like, we'll just like slide 60 grand to this Mexican judge to fucking ruin this whole thing.
It's just a at least our boy, I think it was the guy who called it right was the Canadian, which
Well,
shout out to that dude.
I went on to Twitter and there's a lot of people saying that like, oh, Wilder won that fight, and it's just like I just don't see that. I think if you looked at it as far as like, yes, Wilder got 2 knockdowns and Fury was 100% unconscious and then did a WWF Undertaker return from the grave in the 12th round.
Yeah.
Yes, but that's not how boxing is scored. And that's not how you
exactly.
judge who wins a fight. You judge it round by round. Those 2 rounds, Wilder won by 2 points. But in the way I watched...
But you could even put up an argument that it was only a 10-9 with that knockdown.
Yeah, because Fury came back.
The rest of the round, Fury was winning that round. Even when he came back after being fucking dead, like his body, his spirit went elsewhere and then sucked back in and then came back to life and fucking boxed his ass off like it was the second round, man. It was
insane. He's superhuman.
And you see the same thing on Twitter, on Instagram, all these people, and I feel the same way. It's like I'm never watching boxing again. Of course I'm not going to, because
of course I'm watching the rematch.
Yeah, but like I'm obviously gonna watch it, even if that fight didn't come down to like if it was a schoolyard backyard fight and then the bell rang and it just got broken up and nobody fucking judged anything. I still would watch the fight. I didn't care who won. I didn't like I was rooting for Fury, but it was just such a good, entertaining boxing
Oh, it was
match,
great.
just to be spoiled by fucking the judging once again. But I mean, we could harp on that all day, but at least we're gonna see the fight again.
We're gonna see it again, but
But
it takes a lot out of like the first time was so special. Like Triple G and Canelo 2 wasn't as exciting to
no,
me. No.
well, yeah, and sometimes these rematches, like when they're, it puts the fighters in a weird place too, because now they've already fought and now they're looking for, it's going to be a slower pace. You're not going to be able to rewind what happened in that fight, and there's no way to make a fight as exciting as that one. And they they really, because it was such a close good fight, they could have, if they had just went with Tyson fights Joshua, and then the winner go, or then they have the rematch, because
Right.
this is rematch worthy no matter who
Right.
wins
Yeah, yeah.
or what the outcome is. And with the press, and I just don't get where the hands in whoever's pocket it really was, because I think Tyson sold the fight more than Wilder.
Well,
So
I agree with you, but I also see the obvious, like the benefit is the rematch. They're both
of course,
still
yeah,
undefeated. Like a draw doesn't count as a defeat. So it's just like they can fight one more time, make a ton of money. The winner fights Joshua, and then a year later, the winner of the Joshua winner fights the lose. Like they just added one more fight. So it kind of
yeah.
makes sense in the super conspiracy corrupt way. But as a
But
fan of boxing, like it's
is it
so
super
fucking
corrupt
annoying.
fantasy anymore with boxing?
No, it's
If it's
obvious.
happening
It
and
happens
time
every
again,
time.
it's,
Yeah.
yeah, it's you're seeing through glass, man. Like
Yeah.
it's right in front of you, and they don't even try and hide it anymore. Like he called the fight so far in Wilder's favor that
Yeah. There's
it
really.
had to be a draw.
Yeah.
It had to be.
Yep.
So I don't know, man. I it's just, I feel bad for Fury. I almost feel bad for Wilder in a way, because do you really want the title, to hold the title that you didn't win?
Yeah.
Like, and and for everybody who maybe this was their first boxing match, or they only watch it once in a while, like they have to be looking at this like this isn't a sport, especially if they do some digging and go back and see Canelo Triple G in both those fights,
Yeah.
So I mean, but on the plus side, we saw one hell of a fucking
It
fight,
was
and
so exciting.
we're gonna. I just hope it doesn't take too long for them to play it back,
Yeah.
because I mean,
That 12th
uh,
round was like the best round I've ever seen. I'm not saying like technically wise, I'm just saying as far as this is a
excitement.
Rocky movie. This, last round.
Yeah,
Like I
dude.
was fucking going crazy when the
Same.
knockdown went. I'm like, I can't believe Fury lost after winning the last 10 of 11 rounds in my
That was
opinion.
my reaction
It's like I
too,
can't
man.
believe he lost. Like Deontay is fucking celebrating, it's over. And then he does that like when I'm really drunk, like I do that kind of like you're just gasping really hard for air.
Yeah,
You're like so
yeah.
surprised you're still conscious. And then that's what Fury did. Like he has his eyes open the whole time, but he's fucking out. He's all
It's
the
like
way out. And then it's
you're
just like
walking.
a, like he fucking got shocked in the chest and he just jumps up like nothing happened. And you're like, wait, he's still standing? The ref is going to let this continue? And then the last, minute of that round, like Fury turned it on and Deontay was tired and Fury hit him a bunch of really clean times. It's like, oh my God. Like,
I
this
just
guy
can't
is magic.
believe. I just cannot believe how much endurance both of these guys, especially
Oh my
Fury,
God.
have for such gigantic human beings.
Yeah, they're
And Fury does
huge.
not have a fucking like
No
a
six
sexy
pack.
body, you
No,
know?
no six pack.
Like he would not be checked off on your six
He's
pack
not. That's why
fucking
I picked Wilder.
Ah man, it's just the fight so good for boxing, the decision so terrible for boxing.
Yeah.
And I've never been so excited about boxing as I was in that 12th round. Like when
Oh, it was
you were
amazing.
messaging me like right before it was over and you were like this round was like the craziest thing ever and you're all excited, like I was like standing up in my bedroom by
Same.
myself, like tarp off, just fucking
Yeah.
screaming at the TV, like. And then as soon as the fucking decision happened, I just had to flick the laptop shut because it was just like, what's the point, man?
It was just
What's
the
the point?
most hard because I like thinking back to like Canelo and Triple G. Like it went to the
Yeah,
decision, and you're thinking like that was a really fucking close fight. But I think Triple G got it. And then when
yeah,
they announced a draw, you're like, well, clearly it's fucking rigged because a draw is so rare that there has to be some
yeah,
shenanigans afoot. But this fight, like, there was no question. Like, it ended. There was a really long celebration. I felt like it was a really long time that they're getting the scores, and I'm not even second guessing anything. I'm just like, oh, they're just
no,
taking a minute to let the like camera get a shot of them hugging. They're getting a shot of the
yeah.
corner, and then we get a new champion. And then it's like a split decision, and then it's like I'm spitting my drink out like split decision. Like who the fuck thought
Uh,
Wilder won any more than 2 rounds?
I know
Split
exactly.
decision, and then it's like, oh, one fucking judge full thought Wilder won like 9 of 13. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I
This
don't.
doesn't make any sense.
And that's the thing too, because even if he made it less obvious on the scorecard, I'd be like, all right, like maybe he saw something I didn't see. You know,
Yeah,
maybe if it was a little bit closer, like he had him winning 7 rounds to 6,
yeah,
or not. That doesn't
cool.
make any sense. But you
But
know what
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean.
yeah, I do.
7-5 or whatever, instead of just him being completely dominant, because this just wasn't the
That's
fight that.
not the fight that happened. Even the
Yeah,
judge that called it a draw, like I call fucking bullshit because a draw is just so convenient that you
yeah,
gotta fuck off. But that judge pretty much said like 1, 7, 12 were Wilder, and they're ten
yeah.
eight rounds, and the math wise it lined up. But I'm
It
still
made
calling
sense.
bullshit.
Yeah,
It made sense, but like, come
yeah,
on, a fucking draw. Just so
yeah.
convenient that it makes my eyebrow rise up like the people's champion, The Rock. But
Oh yeah.
but fucking the
Send the
other
people's.
Mexican judge, like, oh my god, come on, dude. Like, hide your fucking corruption a little bit better than that.
This fight is going to be one of those fights when young Jamie takes over for Joe Rogan one day and he's sitting in that chair and
Yep.
he's talking to some guy about remember this fight
Yeah.
from back in the day. You know how
Yeah.
Rogan always talks about old
Yeah.
boxing
Fucking
matches,
remember
and then Jamie
Hagler
pulls
versus
them
Hearns?
up.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like this one will be in those like top 10 of all time fights, you know, and then of course overshadowed by fucking judging. But I mean, we can keep saying it over and over again, but we're gonna see it again. We better fucking see it again.
Yeah.
Like that's all I'm saying. Like I don't want this to be like one of those things where they both take a couple other fights. Like this is the
I
fight to
think it's
make.
next. It's definitely next. But it's just a
It
matter of
has to be.
when. Like Fury said he wants to take the holidays off to be with his like 9 kids. Like he's got that gypsy
Mm.
family.
Yeah.
And like my criticism last week was like the two comeback gimme fights of Gypsy King, Tyson Fury. Like they were good, but they weren't phenomenal. But
Yeah.
I could look at them as three now, like two gimme fights and a shot at the world title. And he progressed every single fight. He lost weight. He's getting closer to like the 250 line that he was when he fought Klitschko.
Yeah.
So, like, the next fight, I feel like Fury's going to be coming in with more momentum if he stays in shape and on goal.
Yeah, well, even from the time that they started promoting this fight until the day that the fight happened, progressively, Fury looked like he was in better and better shape, almost like
Yeah.
per each interview, like week by week, he just looked like he was getting back. So if he keeps training the way that he's trained over the past few years since his little hiccup there,
Yep.
I mean he's gonna be unstoppable, man. I
He's
think a lot of people are gonna like they're gonna have a hard time betting against Fury
Well, you
against anybody.
saw
I
fucking
think
Deontay.
both of them beat Joshua too. I
Yeah.
think both of those guys could take Joshua.
Yeah. I mean, just speaking to
Just
that, like, Deontay is no joke, fucking incredible. I picked him to win, but you
yeah,
saw how much trouble he had in those early rounds. Like, he looked really tentative. He was really, like, hesitating. He would try to, like, figure out the timing, figure out the rhythm.
yeah,
And Fury's just so awkward and big and deceivingly fast.
so quick and talented for a guy of his size. I mean, and just to go back on them both beating Joshua,
Yep.
just like how much trouble Joshua had with Klitschko, like it's I mean I just I I think this is the better matchup of anything, man. Like I think this is the two biggest fights, or the biggest fights of both these guys' careers. Like I think they handle anybody else in the heavyweight division, and they need to right now while they're in their prime.
Yep. I feel like even throwing Joshua's name into that is only out of like you have to eliminate all options. But as far as
Yeah,
I'm concerned, like these two are the best in the world. Like that fight was so good
couldn't agree with you
that
more,
you just
man.
have to like okay, Joshua has to fight the winner just so that there's some like 100% we have a definitive champion. But
Yeah,
Joshua is irrelevant as far as who's the best in the world to me right
and
now. It's like these
and
two.
that's his fault,
That's
man,
his
because
fault. He's on the
he could have
sidelines.
fought
Yep.
he could have fought either of these guys, man, and he could have made one of these fights happen.
Right.
Now nobody's fucking talking about AJ.
No.
Everybody's talking
No.
about Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder.
Yep.
So fucking hats off to both those guys. And I just loved that the way we talked about this fight last week on our bonus episode, everything came to life the way that we talked about it. You know, just like we wanted it to be a great fight. We wanted like it just to be like a full on like 12-round war, and just
Yep.
like it just like it exceeded our expectations, I think. And other than the judging, man,
Other than the
I like
judging. But at the
I
same
could
time you
I could watch that
fucking
fight any day
know
of
it.
the week,
Yeah,
twice on Sunday.
100%. Like there's two ways fights like that go, and it's like the Mike Tyson 90
Yeah,
second knockout, or you want to
which you
see
love, of
a fight
course.
like yeah, of course, that's amazing.
Yeah,
But you also love to see this, which is just a back and forth war that tests both guys to the full skill set. You see the strategy, you see the adapting
yeah.
to each other's strategy, and then, and adapting to that person's adaptation. Like, that's what fighting is. Like, I fucking love it. And of
Anybody
course, it ends in
who,
bullshit because boxing is rigged
yeah,
as shit. But as far as the 12 rounds go, like, that was incredible.
anybody who ever try, I completely agree with you. But if anybody tries to say boxing's boring, you just have to put this fight on for them and sit them down,
Yeah,
and then they
yeah,
will never say that again.
yeah,
Or else they're fucking stupid.
yeah.
Fuck them. I don't even want to hang with them if that's the case. They're probably one of these fucking judges if that's the case.
They probably have a
Um,
library card.
oh man, having fun isn't hard when you've got a library card. Fucking like what a lie.
You put the lie in
So,
library.
yeah, fucking come on, Arthur. Jesus Christ. What
Fuck
even are
you
you?
and your Dewey Decimal System. Let's pivot over to the going on at the same time was UFC Fight Night 142.
Oh, which got completely trumped by that battle we were just talking about.
The
But
timeline worked out though that I would manage to
I
see the
know, yeah,
undercard, watch Tyson Fury, and then in between rounds like switch back to the main event.
yeah, yeah. Because I was watching the UFC, and then you messaged me just like, "Yo, fight's coming on right now, the boxing match." And then I flicked over, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's like coming on at an early good time." And
Hmm.
then what was it? We flicked back and then
It
watched the
was
main
Mark
event
Hunt
for the
and Willis.
UFC.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it
We
was.
watched Hunt Willis in between rounds.
Oh my god, what a fucking great weekend for fighting, man. Really, just like other than judges that could suck on my ball sack, fucking awesome.
Every
I
now
mean,
and
it's
then,
so hard to move on and talk about the UFC after that fight. Like, it's all I can think about. Like, I was just like, I cannot wait to get RJ on the phone to talk about the fight,
oh, I
man.
was
Like, it
so
was just,
bummed. I
oh,
could not
I know.
enjoy Dos Santos and Tuivasa because I was so
No.
fucking butthurt just on the decision. Like if
Yeah.
Deontay won the fight, I would have been stoked because I love Deontay. But just the fact
Yeah.
of like that decision was bullshit. A fucking tie, like fuck off. Like there was not a
Yeah.
tie. Um,
No, or change the fucking rules.
yeah, yeah.
If you're gonna fucking call it because a guy got two vicious knockdowns that were incredible, I'm not taking anything
One
away
hundred
from him.
percent
Change
incredible.
the fucking rules. Change the whole rules
Yep,
by promotion. If that's what you want to do, you just rewrite the rules.
yep.
The boxing is a different sport now, apparently.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah. It's based on most exciting part or whatever.
Yeah,
Most damage
fucking.
inflicted, whatever. But it's like that's not how you judge it. You judge it by the round, and that's not how the fight broke down.
I
Uh,
feel bad for anybody who had money on that too,
oh
because they
yeah,
got
yeah.
robbed.
I've learned you don't bet on boxing. Like that shit will never fucking go your way. The underdog
Especially,
never wins.
yeah, oh, of course. And yeah, because Wilder's going in there the favorite too.
Yeah,
So
yeah. There's too much money.
like you could have walked away with a bag fighting on, like, or betting on Fury.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's move on to the UFC Australia card. So I think we just went over the top
Let's go
three.
for the top three. Yeah. Let's start with
Yeah,
Mark Hunt and Justin Willis. They had
heartbreak,
some
man.
kind of bullshit at the weigh-ins. There was no video of it, just reports that they kind of got into some shit. So
Really?
yeah, something happened backstage after the weigh-ins, and that made me pretty excited for the fight. Like I thought, like okay, they said
Yeah.
apparently rumor says Willis said some shit to Hunt. There's some back and forth. I'm like, oh, this is gonna be a good fight. But the fight didn't really show that.
No,
Hunt
no.
kind of looked tired the whole way through.
Yeah.
Willis got the decision. Um, I
It
have
was
to fully admit,
lackluster.
I watched this fight in between rounds of the other fight, so I was watching
Yeah.
it. I watched it in real time, like I would pause it in between, so I saw all three rounds. But
Yeah.
I was fully watching it as like, okay, the other fight is in between rounds, so I'm gonna switch over and watch a minute of
Yeah.
this. So I didn't watch it in real time, but I did see the whole thing. I thought Hunt looked good, but Willis got the decision.
Yeah. I mean, it was a decent fight, but it wasn't like. I mean, some people just aren't the best dance partners. You're not gonna
No,
get like Mark Hunt usually too. It's like most of his fights, unless he gets wrestle fucked and completely destroyed like he did against Blades,
or
like
Lesnar, yeah.
he's gonna put on an exciting fight, and I think it's just we're seeing Mark Hunt at the end of his career, and just it he I don't think he's all the way in it anymore.
No, I don't.
Maybe too many wars. Just I
Like
don't know.
anything, though, you've been doing it your whole life. Like, you get to that point where he's making a pretty solid paycheck. He's one of the higher paid
Oh
UFC
yeah,
dudes.
for sure. And he fights a lot.
And I was going to say, especially for someone that's not really in heavyweight title contention, he's
Yeah.
kind of like a Donald Cerrone that's like super famous, gets paid a fuck ton, but like you're not talking about him as like, oh, he's next. It's just like he's in the top 10. He's legitimate top 10, maybe top 5, but legitimate top 10. He's getting paid like 600 grand, maybe upwards of like 800 grand per night.
Yeah.
And he's fighting 2 or 3 times a year. Like he's fighting for the money right now, honestly.
Yeah. So that was the last fight on his contract.
Yeah.
Do you see him? Well, I didn't see the post-fight interview. So is he retiring or do you
I think he's just done with the UFC and off to Bellator boxing and maybe back to K1. But
I'd like to see him go.
He didn't retire, but he did.
Championship.
Yeah, he's definitely not retiring. He was pretty clear with he didn't say he's retiring. He just thanked the UFC for everything. And goodbye.
Well, hopefully they get their legal shit figured out, and that can be a clean break. And I'd like to see him in one fighting championship because they do kickboxing and MMA over there. I'm pretty sure. So that would be a great place for him to do both, right?
Well,
like if he went over there and was
well right now, like I still feel like his title contention days are behind him. I want to be wrong. Like I love Mark Hunt, but I just can't picture him being like, how old is he? He's got to be above 40 years old. He's been around forever. Yeah. Like I just don't see him being a world champion. So like get as much money as you can
Whoever's
you can.
Gonna pay him.
Yeah, and then back out because like I don't want to see him like a fucking sad Chuck or Tito.
Yeah.
Fighting for 200 grand. Like fuck that, Mark Hunt. Like you deserve so much more than that.
He could be the face of One Fighting Championships kickboxing division for the heavyweights, though, man. And especially with them bringing over Mighty Mouse and Sage Northcutt, who just went over there.
Yeah.
Like, they're really fighting to be like the next competitor along with Bellator, getting some big names over at ONE FC. And I think if they got the money to shell out, and he can make the money over there, like he would be a great name for them to have. And like you said, 3-fight deal, fight the 3 fights, get as much money as you can, and then retire. And he's been fucking hit in the head so many times, man. I just don't want. He's too cool of a dude. I don't want to see him.
Dude. I would love to see him do commentary. I have no idea if he would be good at it, but I just love the way he talks and his nonchalant, like, insight. Like, I would like to see him in a commentary booth as, like, the third man. The UFC's, since Goldberg got the axe, like, they switched to the third man booth, and they kind of have Joe Rogan, a lead guy, and then there's, like, a fighter as a third one to give some insight. Like, I would like to... sit Mark Hunt in on some of those and talk about, like, what does a leg kick actually feel like? What does it feel like to be hit in the head? What does,
Nobody's realer than Mark Hunt.
No, he's real as shit. Like, I fucking love it. Like, right now, the guys that they use as a third man are active fighters. Like, it's Daniel Cormier, Dominic Cruz. There's that Felder. Like, they're all like, contenders. So like
Felder's
none of
such a nerd.
They're all sick though. Like
No,
but none of them are going to say anything that puts them in a position of being like weak. Like they're never going to say like, "Oh, you get hit like that and the fight is over." They're all going to be like, "I'd get up from that." Like he's okay. They're all like alpha dudes. But to
Yeah,
have
for
someone
sure.
that's kind of retired and, like Frank Mir was pretty fucking sick at the WEC commentary back in the day.
Dude, he did a great job at
He's
commentary, and
sick, yeah.
whenever he's on a podcast, he does a good job
Yeah,
too. Like
yeah.
he always has an interesting interview, and then he's got, I think his show's called Phone Booth Fighting,
Yeah.
with that guy who saved that Kardashian guy from. Did you hear about that?
No, I don't know.
What's the
Saved a
fucking guy?
Kardashian.
No, the Lamar Odom, when he was
Okay.
at the bunny ranch fucking all those hoes, he overdosed, and the co-host of Phone Booth Fighting, I think the show's called, he was the one who went in, called the ambulance, got him on his side, and like saved him.
Really?
And Lamar Odom was married to. It's actually a really really interesting story. I think he tells it on an episode of Fighter and the Kid. But yeah, check that out, man. It's like pretty fucking intense. He was doing
Wow.
fucking blow and boner pills and shit.
It's a good
So,
life.
but anyways, like shout out to Mark Hunt. And
Fuck yeah,
what's
Mark Hunt. And Justin Willis, like, new blood
yeah.
in that heavyweight division. But
This is what that card was, though. It was the old versus the young heavyweight division, really.
yeah. But let's move
Bro,
on to fucking upset of the century. Well, maybe not. Shogun Hua taking on Tyson Pedro. And neither of us saw anything in Shogun. Also in his late 40s. A
yeah.
Pride Grand Prix champion from 2006 or some shit. Still
Yeah.
fucking knocking people out. Unreal.
So, yeah, Mark Hunt's 44, and I don't know how old Shogun is, but he's got to even be older. So, he's probably 69 years old.
37. It says 37.
30. Oh,
That's
he's
actually
a
fucking
weathered
heartbreaking.
37.
He's only 37? It makes me feel like
Holy-
such a fucking loser. I haven't done anything with my life. I'm talking about this guy being over the hill. And like, oh, he fought in Pride, but he was like 20 years old apparently when he fought in Pride and was the Grand Prix winner. Jesus Christ. Okay, Shogun, you're the fucking man.
43 seconds left in the fight too, and gets the KO.
Yeah, it was a good fight too.
Yeah, fuck, man. He needed that one too, because that fight could have went either way before that.
Yeah. We said
Or
last week that like, oh, Shogun is like one of those old cats in the division, but earlier this summer, like DC was saying, like, oh, he might be in contention for a title shot. Like he's still relevant, but he's old. And here he is again, fucking winning. Like, are we gonna see Shogun Hua fighting for the light heavyweight championship in 2019?
I don't know, man. It could be. It's somewhat of a shallow division too.
It is a
Like
shallow division,
with
but
DC
he's
up
getting the
in
wins,
the
man.
heavyweight, like he could definitely he one, two more fights. He's a name, and if he's getting these big victories, why not? Fuck it, right?
I think he deserves it. It's not even just like, fuck it. It's like, this guy's still fucking winning. He won the 2005 Pride Middleweight Grand Prix.
So crazy,
That
man.
is fucking crazy. And here we are 14 years later, and he's probably still going to get a title shot.
Yeah. Oh, man. There's some really good stories that came out of this weekend, too, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Fury coming back after all of that, being kind of the face for mental health, and then Shogun never, ever being able to count him out, and then I know we didn't talk about this card, but on the Ultimate Fighter card, what a fucking show Usman put on there, eh?
Yeah.
Did you?
I only watched the main
Canadian
event.
there for a second.
Yeah, good show, eh?
Yeah, I only watched the main event as well.
But yeah,
but
Usman's
definitely, yeah. I mean, Dana came out and said that he wants to see him fight for the title. He doesn't give a fuck about
Colby or
Covington.
T Wood. Like, let's add another fucking interim champion. Why not?
Yeah, well, he was the like step-in fighter for Woodley's last fight. Like he showed up and made weight just in case Till didn't make weight.
Right, true.
So, I mean, and what people were saying about him was, I know we're jumping all over the place here, but
That's our
whatever.
show, baby.
Yeah,
Couple
dudes on
frogs.
dudes jumping.
Couple wet frogs.
But I've fucking lost my train of thought. Anyways, oh yeah. So everybody just kind of writes him off because he's a bit boring, more of a wrestler, but he handled RDA like that in a straight up just like beat down. So I mean, fucking, he shows he can put on a good fight. I'd way rather see him than shithead Covington.
I love Covington, so I take
I
offense to
know
that,
you
good
do.
sir. But I also like keep in perspective, like RDA was legit and he was jacked and he was ruling 155 before
Yeah.
USADA. And since then he hasn't been amazing. So
Yeah.
there's still like reverse asterisks. Like there's an asterisk on RDA's wins because it's like, oh, that's questionable. But then you get a reverse asterisk on Usman. It's like, yeah, he fucking handled RDA. But this is like a post-USADA RDA that doesn't have the level of abs. He doesn't have those like thighs that look like tree trunks, like
Yeah.
knots and veins all over them. Like he's a soft RDA, an SRDA.
Yeah. What do you think about? Okay, so I know RDA came back and when he went up to 170, who did he fight in his comeback fight? He came back and he looked great when he went up to 170.
Was
Fuck.
it Cowboy?
No. He beat Cowboy at 155. But either way, like everybody was all high and mighty, and like he fought Covington to get the like he was in the title contention for the interim there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've always kind of looked at it that like RDA kind of fell off once he pulled out of that McGregor fight. Like his career would be so different if he didn't pull out of the McGregor fight. When they were supposed to fight,
Right.
and then because he lost to Alvarez in the title shot after that.
Yeah.
So that's
Google
what
says he
sparked
lost
the
to
whole.
Alvarez, Ferguson, and then he beat Tarek Safradine, Neil Magny, and Robbie Lawler. That's who we're thinking of.
Okay,
That was
so
his
he
big.
did have a good run.
That was his big middleweight
Yeah.
welterweight win was the Robbie Lawler, and since then
Yeah.
it's been another skid. Covington and Usman.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean that's a pretty decent run there, but I just always think back on how different his career would have been if he didn't pull out of that fight with Conor McGregor. Like imagine how much richer and shit he would be.
Fuck yeah. Especially Brazil.
Yeah, man, that would have been fucking insane. I'm glad it worked out the way it did because then we got this one day Diaz trilogy. But I mean,
yeah,
fuck RDA, you really fucking screwed that, man. If I lost a ball, like not part of my nutsack, I would still fight Conor McGregor.
Oh,
How much
yeah.
fucking money you're gonna get?
Yeah. Take my fingernails, whatever you want.
Yeah, have
For a
them,
red
man.
panty night, I'm down.
Yeah, man.
My rib is broken. I do not care. I'm gonna make weight. I'm gonna get destroyed in the first round.
And I'm gonna fucking make more money in one night than I will fighting all these savages at 170.
Exactly. Like fucking shake hands or whatever Herb Dean says, and then go to my corner and then just keep waving like fight's over. I'm done.
Get your fucking corner to just throw in the flag
Yeah.
after the first. You still collect your paycheck.
Fucking sliding drop kick and then just do the timeout motion. Call it, I got poked in the eye, and then when everyone's confused, say you can't see, fight's over. Take my really, $2 million. Like, what is wrong with you, RDA? You're a moron.
Yeah, it's almost his fault that dolly accidentally got thrown through the window.
I think so.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw RDA, like, in the corner of that video, just subtly, like, pass it to Connor. And Connor was, like, just trying to get it out of the way because he didn't want anybody to trip over it. And boom, right through the window.
I think RDA may have been using that dolly earlier in the day with his like excuses, traveling back and forth from Brazil to Dana White with a fucking box full of excuses, using the dolly, and he just left it right outside the truck.
Or just boxes full of steroids.
Yes. Fucking steroids and excuses.
Yeah, steroids and needles he had to move along with his fucking excuses. I like RDA too.
I do.
I'm ripping on him.
I like Shogun more though. Let's go back to Shogun. Fucking hero.
Yeah. Yeah, fucking right, Shogun.
I don't like Junior Dos Santos though. Let's go to that main event. That was a heartbreaker for me.
I don't know why you hate GDS so much.
He's just got such a fucking big, weird head, man. Like, I can't play with that. He looks like a character from Mars Attacks.
He's a good dad, though.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The jury's out.
You can't just say no because
I can say the jury's out.
Before.
If your head's gigantic, like, how do you even, like, wear a fucking shirt around your child? Like, that's weird. He's always shirtless.
Yeah, he's one of those guys who, like, if he wore a beanie, it'd be way too tight.
Oh my
God.
God.
Like, just leave it off, man.
He's using a fucking Glad garbage bag as a beanie.
He can't get a new era fitted because he's bigger than a size 8.
Fuck no. No way.
Or a 9 or whatever.
Yeah. Even a hoodie doesn't work. It just fucking drapes around his ears.
Yeah, like those Canadian goose jackets have the biggest hoods on them ever. His head's not even fitting in one of those, buddy.
No. I think that's the reason he lives in Brazil year round. Like, there's no need. He just wears a tank top. Fucking loosest neck possible.
Yeah, I'm currently wearing a Harley Davidson shirt with like a cut out the collar and the sleeves and went low, but just for style and comfort points. And he definitely has to cut out the collar just to fit that fucking huge noggin through. But yeah, that was a bit of a heartbreaker, especially because Tuivasa is such an up and comer. He's a great personality. Fucking
borderline early
goon sacks.
Oh man, and JDS turned down the goon sack post fight. Fuck off. Fuck off. Like, I'm gonna turn down a goon sack in a Romanian hostel because like there's no cameras of the whole world on me. But like, JDS, come on, buddy.
Yeah, you just don't.
This is your chance to be fucking cool, to be on Ariel's podcast. Like, nobody wants you after this. They still want Tuivasa.
Yeah, fuck it. At least he's a heavyweight and he only needs to win like one more fight to fight for the title.
He's in title. It's him versus fucking Predator. Like, that's the match now.
Yeah.
We speculate.
Santos?
Yeah, it's gotta be. Number one contender.
Fight too,
those two.
But I think the Predator would annihilate Dos Santos.
I feel like even this fight was like borderline early stoppage. Like, Tuivasa wasn't fighting back, but I don't think he was as hurt as the ref thought he was. I think he was just waiting for an opportunity. Because as soon as it ended, he was 100% fine.
Yeah.
But as far as the rules go, like, if you're not defending yourself, the ref can stop it. But in this case, I feel like he was not defending himself because he's getting these really, like, wiffle ball shots. Like, if you go back and watch the fight, like there was no form involved whatsoever. JDS was.
Is there ever form with JDS?
I don't know, man. He
He's
used
a
to
good
be.
fighter.
The first time he
He's
fought,
over the hill.
Kane and shit, like he was legitimate, like a good boxer, and he's
Yeah.
still a good boxer, but as soon as like Tuivasa got on the ground, he just went to full on cartoon windmill fighting. Like he's just swinging his arms all over the place, hitting him with
Yeah.
like all parts of his wrist. Like he's not even hitting him with his hand. Like he's just like throwing arms in the direction, like fucking wrist shots, forearm, whatever he hits him with. And yeah,
Yeah.
Tuivasa wasn't fighting back, but I still feel like he was just waiting for, maybe 5 more seconds for JDS to blow his load and
Yeah.
then, pivot out, hip escape, whatever he needed to do.
I think there was a lot of nerves in that fight for Tuivasa too.
Big main event.
Fighting on the big stage at home and everything, and just like he's really he became a fan favorite pretty quick too.
Oh, yeah.
So
He's got this
I
thing
mean,
called personality.
8-1, whatever. It's not a
He's
bad
Australian, our favorite country.
record. Yeah, man. Fucking I heard someone mention a goon sack today on the podcast.
No way.
They were just calling it a goon,
Yeah.
but I as soon as they said it, I was just like, holy shit! RJ told me about this like last week. That's hilarious. It was on the 9 Club episode. The most
I listened to that today.
one.
I didn't even hear that with Brian Herman.
Herman was talking about what's his name? That Australian
Dustin
dude who
Dolan.
used to skate.
Yeah.
No, the dude who used to skate for Zero. He or Slave or one of those dudes, the big bald guy.
Mumford?
Mumford, yeah. He's talking about how Mumford found a goon around like the America mansion back in the day, and then they were swinging off of chandeliers and shit. So and he's Australian. So clearly this goon sack thing is completely legit, man. So
for the
I was so pumped. Like I rewinded it to that part, and I was just like, RJ fucking had this shit figured out.
For the couple dozen viewers at home, me and Stu are huge fucking skateboarder fans.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
It's probably like to be honest, my first love before MMA. It's just like. It's really hard to talk about skateboarding because it's such like a close knit thing, and I think the guys who are doing it are just like there's very few of them, and like the 9 Club episode or the 9 Club show is so good at their interviews, and like the experience show is really good too, and they give you a perspective on the inside that like it would be really hard to I mean one day I'd like to
I love talking about it with you, but yeah, there's nothing that we can add that other shows don't already do. Versus I feel like fighting, like we can give our perspective on it and it's understandable by average people as well as fighters. Versus like skateboarding, like you have to be really into it to know the beauty of like a backside flip, and then if someone does like a frontside heel flip, like how fucking cool a frontside heel is. Like if you don't know skateboarding, you don't get it.
Or even just a guy going like pushing hard and popping a huge kick flip, like it's just like it like you have to really like it's so subjective. Like with skateboarding, like with MMA, there's a clear cut winner. With skateboarding, everybody's like, it's all about like their someone's style and the how fast they skate, and it's so there's so much that goes into it, and there's so much different perspective that it would be so hard for like someone like me who goes out and slappies a curb like once a year to fucking really explain it, but yeah, like I fucking love skateboarding, and it's always fun to talk about, but
it is.
But But
Let's.
this show is fun too because like it's way easier to talk shit about fighters than
I love
skateboarders for
talking
some
shit about
reason.
fighters.
Yeah, like
Let's switch over to UFC 231 coming up this
yeah.
Saturday.
So pumped in the hometown, buddy. In the
Are you gonna go?
hometown.
Are you going?
I don't know. It's Christmas right now, and I was eyeing out some pretty expensive earrings for the lady today. So
Ooh.
I'm thinking I'm gonna go on StubHub, and this is what I do if I really want to go to something. Like when I went to Rockfest that one year,
Yeah.
I just go on Kijiji and I just lowball everybody, like the worst lowball ever, and then eventually someone usually gives in because like
Yeah,
they can't get rid of
they're
their
gonna get
tickets and they
0
like
or
they
40
need like
bucks. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like my wristband for Rockfest, I think the tickets it was like $200 or something for the wristband. I got it for $65
Not bad, man. Not bad.
with camping. So it was like
My
you.
I've been to maybe like 4 or 5 UFCs. Like I can't really remember. The first one I went to was definitely like UFC 70 something,
Yeah.
like back in the day. I went to Montreal for like the first Montreal show.
70 something.
I
That's
feel
so
it.
crazy.
It was so long ago. The first 2 I went to were in Montreal, like because it wasn't even legal in Ontario. I had to fucking go all the way to goddamn Montreal. I saw like GSP and Anderson Silva, like back in the day. But my favorite UFC was 124 or 127. I don't remember the number. But it was GSP and Jake Shields at the Sky Dome in Canada, in Toronto.
Yeah.
And me and my fucking cousin.
Huge venue.
Huge venue. But me and my cousin bought the cheapest fucking tickets we could get because we're just like, you know, like we don't want to spend money. Like the Sky Dome is so big that like any seat is fucking garbage unless you're in the 7th row. Like you can't see anything. And we literally had the last seats in the upper deck. Like our back was against the wall. Like it was the top. Like our fucking heads were touching the ceiling and our back was against the wall. And it was the best show I had ever seen.
And to describe that to anybody who hasn't been to the Sky Dome, when you're walking up the stairs to that like upper level, you're like shaking when you look down. It's so steep and so high, and you're just like, and the CN Tower, if the roof's open,
the roof was closed. It was closed, yeah.
For this, but like you see the CN Tower, which was at one time the biggest freestanding building in the world, like right beside you, and you're like halfway up it, you're just like, holy
it's really
fuck,
high.
Man.
But like I've been to that Sky Dome like a billion times for like baseball games and wrestling and whatever. But like to be literally the top row, like back against the wall, head against the ceiling, and that was a night like Jose Aldo fought that hometown dude, Mark Hominick. And Hominick looked really fucking good and had the huge goose egg on his head. Like, it was so exciting. Nate Diaz fought Rory McDonald.
Dude, that's an amazing card.
It was the sickest fucking card. And then GSP versus Jake Shields. And there's like 60,000 people there. And you felt like it was an earthquake. Like, the whole building was shaking when Mark Hominick was like rallying against Jose Aldo.
Yeah,
it was
Toronto
the greatest fucking show.
Are like really don't get enough credit for what they.
I feel like they get the credit. Like I feel like
so?
I think when you watch a Montreal or Toronto pay-per-view, like the crowd is insane. Like I was there the night, like when Frank Mir broke Nogueira's arm in Toronto. Like that was fucking crazy. Like I snuck down onto the floor. That was at like the Rogers Center. Me and my buddy, we had tickets up and then like nosebleeds, and we're like, fuck this, let's go down to the floor. And we like snuck down and saw that. And I think that was the same night that John Jones choked out Machida. Like
that's what I'm talking about,
it was
man.
Fucking
like
legit.
All the big guys have fought in Canada. Like it's so fucking
awesome. The Toronto shows are big ones. And the last one I went to was, I guess, 2 years ago, and that was Holiday versus Pettis. And that was a fucking sick fight. And on that card was also like Cowboy versus what's that kind of? He looks a little bit slow, but he's not.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about when he head kicked the guy.
Yeah, it was like a head kick, I think.
Scare. What's his fucking name?
Can't
Horror Story or whatever.
No, not
guy?
Matt. Not Horror Story.
Oh, you're talking about Brown.
Yeah, it was Brown.
Oh, that was a vicious fight.
It was
too.
a brutal like kick, and like Cowboy Cerrone is looking fucking.
Third round.
Yeah, Matt Brown. That's what it was.
Yeah,
I think that was the last one I went to. It was like 2 years ago, I think. It was
what I mean
sick.
by it, like maybe not getting as much credit, it's just like everybody nowadays thinks of MSG in Vegas, but like in Brazil, but like UFC Toronto, like the first one they did in Toronto was like for the longest time the biggest one before Connor came in, right?
Yeah,
like,
that was the
like
one
the
with
biggest
GSP
card.
and St. Pierre. That was the first Toronto show.
GSP and St. Pierre.
GSP and Shields. That was the first one in Toronto. It was a huge deal.
So,
but I feel like John Jones fought twice. Maybe I'm crazy, but I feel like I saw Jones fight twice. I'm gonna do a quick Google. I feel like he fought in Toronto 2 times.
I love how Max Holloway is always wearing like Raptors gear and shit though now too, because like he won the title in Toronto.
Yep.
Now he's gonna defend it in Toronto. I think he might have even fought here once before too. Like he's like the Hawaiian fucking fighting Drake. Like
wow, fucking John Jones fought in Toronto 3 times.
Oh my god.
I only saw 2.
Man. I wish I was a fan sooner.
I saw John Jones and Machida in 2011, and I saw John Jones and Vitor Belfort in 2012. And then he fought Gustafsson in 2013. I don't even remember that being in Toronto.
Dude, and there
why the hell wasn't I there? Why wasn't I there?
You were probably gypsying it up somewhere.
I actually,
Tyson Fury.
now that I say, why wasn't I there? I totally remember. I was just at fucking Hooters watching the fight down the street.
Just down the street.
Yeah. Because like Hooters in Toronto on fucking John Street is so fucking sick for fights. Like that's the spot.
Really?
Fucking Hooters rules. So, like, I just got in the habit of watching every pay-per-view at Hooters. And then, tickets were too... I remember now. Tickets were too expensive. I'm like, fuck that. I'm just going to watch at Hooters. And it's going to be a fucking good time. And then I can go to, like, the post-fight parties and shit after, when it's all wrapped.
Yeah.
Like, I'll just walk down to Real Sports on King Street or whatever. After the show.
Because the city's buzzing after a fucking
it's
big
huge.
fight card night.
It's huge, yeah. But anyone in Toronto, fucking Hooters is a spot.
That Hooters, I've only been there once before. I was going to a Piano Becomes the Teeth show, and I was there with this kid Ricky. He used to play on my baseball team. I'm not going to do a last.
Allegedly know that guy. Allegedly made out with dudes and gave them hickeys. Allegedly.
Allegedly, yeah. I don't know if he's part of that crew, so I wouldn't put it past him.
I can't say either way. It's alleged.
We had a huge crew on the Go bus, and we were like all drinking Mickeys. We like had a rule, like every stop sign you'd have to like take a sip of your Mickey. And so we were just having the time of our lives singing all the piano songs on the way there. We stopped in that Hooters, and that dude got turned down for taking pictures with Hooters chicks 3 times. I was just sitting there laughing so hard, just like, oh my god! Like, not only are you being creepy, like you're getting denied for being creepy
at Hooters. The fucking restaurant is called Hooters.
He was trying to get pictures with the wait staff. They weren't having any of it. So then we just went to Dunbat and drank 40s. Oh, and somehow he ripped his jeans really bad.
At Hooters.
So like, yeah, his jeans were completely ripped off. So we had to go like walking around Kensington Market looking for a pair of shorts, because at one point I'm pretty sure he was just like chilling at Dunbat, the skate park, in just like boxers. It was like, such a funny day. Like, I love hanging out with that guy.
What fucking time in the afternoon were you at Hooters?
Dude, it was so early. I think we met up at the bus stop at like noon, being like, "Yo, today's gonna be like a crazy day." The next day was like a holiday Monday. I think it might have been like what's the holiday in September, like Labor Day or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like the one before you go back to college. So it was like everybody had the next day off, so it was a Sunday too. So it wasn't even like, it was like busy. There was like 4 other people in Hooters, and then like 15 of us going to go see a screamo show, just piling. Anyways, dude, we should get to this card because it's a fucking barn burner.
Okay, we've wasted way too much time, so let's just skip to Alex Oliveira and Gunnar Nelson. Let's do the top 3.
I want to just give a quick shout out though, because Claudia Gadelha versus what's her name? She's girlfriend of the Lioness or wife. Claudia Gadelha is my favorite female fighter, so
and she's fighting the wife of the
Nina and Sarov.
I don't see her on the main card, so I have to disacknowledge your shout out.
She is on the main card.
Well, I'm looking at the Google main card because the UFC website's fucking trash.
I'm looking at the UFC. It's the 6th fight.
6 is not main. Top 5 is main. That's fucking FS1.
Why don't they have it broken down like that?
Because the UFC website's fucking trash. This is the.
I know.
We'll just rename our show. The UFC website is fucking trash and it's useless.
It's so trash. All right. Well, they're fucking headlining the. Anyways, I just hope Claudia wins because she's a babe.
Okay.
And then Manuwa versus Santos. Go with Jimi on that one.
Yep. Hakeem
Kyle.
Dawodu.
Oh my God! Look at those abs. We gotta go with Hakeem.
Yeah.
Mean. His fucking nickname's Mean. Hakeem Mean.
Hakeem.
And Andy's Canadian, so Canadian. We gotta go with those fucking.
Does it say where he's from?
What? No, it's the UFC website.
I'm gonna pop up the Wikipedia.
I think he's
website.
from Canada.
Calgary. Oh, that's like deep in Canada. But yeah, I like Mean Hakeem. That's a good fucking name, Hakeem.
And on the undercard, that the Canadian gangster's fighting.
Who is that?
Olivier Aben-Mercier. He's always on Ariel's show after. He's got that sweet mustache.
Why is he on the undercard? That guy's a fucking savage.
I know, and he had that vicious knockout, and then like
that vicious
Ariel
mustache?
Loves him, and he always has him on. Yeah, and he walks around with a turtleneck and a fucking bum bag on. So respect on the style.
All those things are just standard Montreal clothing.
All right, Montreal's sick.
Montreal's sick, but they do wear a lot of turtlenecks.
Yeah, it's like you're just in Europe randomly when you go to Montreal. You're like, I thought I was in fucking Canada.
One of my fondest memories of fucking Montreal was like not even that long ago, maybe like 3 years ago. I tried to get on like a streetcar, and I just like walk on with like a 5. And like try to give it to the driver, and he's in like this like glass booth, and he just starts like yelling back to me like, "No money paper, no money paper." And I had no idea what he was talking about, and I'm just like, "We're in Canada. Here's a Canadian $5 bill. I want to ride on the fucking bus. No money
would he not-
paper. No money
Would he not
paper.
give you change?
He
or
wasn't going to
just
give
wouldn't accept
change.
the
Yeah.
money at all?
He wouldn't accept the money at all because he didn't give change. So I had to get off, go to a goddamn like coffee shop, get change, and then wait for the next bus. For like
Montreal's a really strange place because like half of it hates people who don't speak French, and then the other half are like nicer people than anywhere you could ever go. It's like it's really random. Once you get to like the outskirts and like in Quebec area, they're just like where people just don't speak English. They fucking hate English speaking people. But then like right downtown, everybody's so nice and like they drink in parks and like fucking great skateboarding town, amazing fight city. And
I almost got a ticket one time for drinking in public in Montreal. At the time when I wasn't even drinking. Like I was like there with like a roommate, wink wink, at the time, and like her sister. Like the three of us were just gonna like chill in the park. And those two brought some like tall boys. And as soon as we got there, they're like, we got a pee, so we're gonna go to like the nearby Starbucks. But we're gonna leave all our bags and shit here. Like you hold the fort down. I'm like, yeah, cool. And I'm just like chilling there, playing on my phone. And these like cops show up, and they're like, pardon, like whatever, French, blah blah blah. They're pointing at the bags. I'm like, they're not mine. Like whatever. Like I'm giving them the like shoe sign. Like they're like, go away. Like
you handle authority funnier than anybody.
Like I'm not doing anything wrong. Like go away. But then like I didn't even notice that there was like a 6-pack underneath one of the backpacks. Like one of the girls left a 6-pack, put a backpack on it to cover it, and that's what the cop was pointing at. And I'm just giving him like a limp-wristed, like go away. Like there's nothing to see here.
Take off,
sir. And he was like
one of those,
trying to give me a ticket. Yeah, and then he was like trying to give me a ticket. Like he didn't speak English, but of course he fucking spoke English. He's just being Montreal.
Well, yeah, you have to be bilingual to get like
but
any job there.
He's trying to give me a ticket for like having
there because it's so sick.
I think even in the English area in Canada, you have to be bilingual. Like it's illegal.
No, at McDonald's you have to be. Like if you're doing anything customer service based or you're talking to the public, like you pretty much have to work in the kitchen. Like if you only speak English.
Yeah. So this guy's trying to give me a ticket for like having beers in a park, and I have no idea what's going on. And I'm like, they're not mine. Like I'm 100% they're not mine. And then
you were playing "Fuck the Police."
And then one of the girls came back and they speak French, and they're just like, "Yeah, no, like they're not even open. They're not ours. Like, go away." And the cops left.
How long ago of a roommate is this?
Like the 2 years ago roommate.
Okay, all right. I didn't know she spoke French, or was it a friend?
She was born in Montreal, but then moved down south. But her sister lives in Montreal, so the sister speaks French.
Yeah.
So
she
handled it. The sister handled it.
Explain to the cop, like, how did she get out of it? Well,
they weren't even open. I think it was just the cop was like trying to take advantage of like this guy doesn't speak French. We're gonna give him a ticket.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get the, like, points or whatever the fucking cops get for that kind of shit. But it's like the beers were not open. And...
Yeah, so you were just carrying around an item.
Yeah, it's like there was
something you can buy at the store.
There was like a 6-pack of beer in a park. Like, that's not a crime. But because I was, like, chilling on a park...
Yeah, he had you fucking picked out as a non-Frenchie for sure.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
All right, Alex Oliveira versus Gunnar Nelson. This is a good fight. What's your famous RJ pick on this one?
I think I got to go with Gunnar Nelson.
Okay, is this out of fandom or because you think he's going to win?
I just feel like Alex Oliveira was like too hot to trot in 2012. And
Yeah,
since then, he's developed a striking game. His jiu-jitsu's legit for sure.
yeah.
But his striking game is still like Weidman-esque. And Gunnar Nelson has more potential.
Okay. I gotta disagree. I think
Okay?
Oliveira's on a run here,
Yep.
and he took that his last fight on short notice and fucking he fought a big name too and just handled him. Ah, fuck, I don't remember who his last fight was. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna go with Cowboy number two because there's only one cowboy in our hearts. Gunnar Nelson fucking trains with Connor and them at SVG though. So I kind of like that. If he had a little fucking accidental dolly action, that'd be dope.
Accidental, any personality.
Oh, maybe we'll see fucking Connor at the fight though, cheering on
And
his guy.
yeah, maybe.
That means anything could happen.
Imagine he's in
Fuck, I
Canada.
should get tickets.
I should like look up some smoke show like undercard Ireland fights for the next few weeks because I'm gonna go back there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, dude, that'd be sick. Get some photos.
why not?
Yeah. All right. Let's bring it to the co-main because I could not be more excited about this fight, man. I love both of these two.
It's such a
Um,
hard one to pick, man.
they
Valentina
fought before
Shevchenko and
too.
Joanna Jedrzejczyk. They fought in Thai rules or just kickboxing rules, right?
Just I think it was kickboxing, and I don't know who was the winner. I think
I think
Valentina.
yeah, I think Shevchenko.
Okay, so Valentina's dropping down from 135, but she was never a real 135er in the first place. She didn't ever actually make 135. She was always under. So this is an easy cut for her. Joanna had a hard cut to 115. So I think like there I don't think either of them's really that much bigger. I think
Right.
this is a really, really evenly matched fight. The records are almost spot on 15-3-0 for Shevchenko, and her decisions, a couple of her decisions have been questionable. And then Joanna's just taken those two losses to Rose. So, and she has 15 wins herself. So, I mean, I think we're going to see a fucking amazing stand up battle with these ones,
Yeah.
with this fight.
Google says that Shevchenko beat Joanna twice in kickboxing.
And
Both
Joanna won one.
no, both wins. Two
See, but
wins.
they must be missing one unless it was just Valentina's English that was bad. Because I watched the first episode of Embedded and they said that this would be their fourth fight, but
Okay.
both of their English is pretty. I mean,
They might have
JJ's
the
is a
numbers
lot
off,
better
yeah.
now, but
But both fights
um,
were decisions for Joanna or for Shevchenko. One was in
yeah,
2008, one was in 2006. So maybe there was a different rule set they fought under, but those are both Muay Thai rules.
yeah, this is a completely different ball game,
Oh,
right?
big time. I still like
Uh,
Shevchenko.
I think that I think Joanna's hitting a rough patch, and I think her moving up to this weight class is just chasing a belt instead of staying down at 115 and fighting everybody. And like she knows that she's not going to get a chance at Rose again because she just can't beat Rose.
No.
So and she just wants a title too bad, and I think I I I think her chasing the title this bad isn't good for her. But I mean, fuck, I love both of them. I gotta agree with you. I'm going with Valentina the Bullet on this one. She fucking loves guns.
Yeah, I just feel like Joanna. I don't think she was overhyped. She was a legitimate champion. But
Yeah.
even when she was a champion, she talked about herself in a way higher light than her fights demonstrated. Like, she wasn't
I
a knockout first round kind of fighter. She was like
yeah.
overwhelming, but would get
TKO.
a decision, get a TKO. But she never left
Yeah.
anyone flatlining. Like, she just like punches in bunches, super fucking aggressive, durable as shit. But
Yeah.
Rose
I
is better than that. Rose is more disciplined, more versatile. And I feel like
yeah.
Shevchenko's in that same boat. Like, Shevchenko's stronger, bigger, has more tools in the shed. And I
She
just
has a
can't,
way better ground game. Like,
yeah,
oh,
I
so
just can't picture Joanna overwhelming her with that kind of like attack that she ruled that division with for so long. Like, I just don't see
yeah.
that. Shev-
I I'd be really happy for either one of these two though,
oh
because
yeah,
I
Joanna's a
I
super fucking cool chick. I love her.
I
But
think they both make great champions. So
and
I
wonderful
think
mothers someday.
oh yeah, definitely wonderful mothers. Um yeah, so I'm gonna go with Valentina on this one, but I think cheering wise, I think I'm gonna be cheering for JJ on this one. I just don't want to say her name. That's why I'm doing the cringy short form.
Jedrzejczyk. It's not that hard.
Jedrzejczyk.
Jedrzejczyk. I like
I've,
Joanna
al-
Jedrzejczyk.
I've also had a couple beers since your brother
Man,
couldn't figure out how to
my brother
download a
cannot
movie.
use a
So
fucking computer to save his life.
sorry, Skylar. We're always
Fucking
giving you a
under
hard
the
time on
bus,
the show.
Skylar. This
We
this
love
this
you, buddy.
recording session started late because Skylar cannot operate a goddamn iTunes and do Google Drive.
I know.
Pretty much
I was just
experts.
like,
Pretty much
you're
experts.
just like, oh, I'm just showing Skylar how to download something. I was like, all right, so I'll probably talk to him
It
in
will
like
take
10 minutes. An
approximately 90
hour later.
seconds to download something.
yeah.
He's
Oh, man, this card
useless.
is amazing. That Theodora guy's fighting too. Fuck. But anyways,
Let's talk
we're
about
running
Holloway and
really long
Ortega.
on this one.
Ortega and
Yeah.
Holloway is going to be such a good
Oh
fight.
my god,
Oh
yes.
my god.
This
It's
is a battle of just two straight up fucking gangsters.
at the same time though, I can't get too excited because there's so much opportunity for this fight to like
To
fall
miss
through.
weight.
Yeah.
They're both too big for the division.
Way too fucking big. Ortega's
yeah.
gigantic.
Yeah. So this is how I see Max being ahead in the fight, but I feel like Ortega, for some reason, he can finish someone with a submission from anywhere. Like, if you look at that Cub Swanson fight, like, you could not have seen that submission
No.
coming. And it's going to be a lot for Max to handle. Max has got a lot of pressure on him, dropping out of his last two fights, having like possible brain injury or concussion problems, missing weight, dropping down to 155. I know it was short notice, but he's fighting 10 pounds lighter this
Yeah.
like. So I mean,
Ortega
fuck,
uses
Holloway's
his
such a good
size.
dad. Fucking his son Rush, little
That's a
cute
great
guy.
name. Great name.
You think it's after our boy
It's gotta be.
GSP?
Or it might be
Yeah.
named after all the fucking methamphetamines in Hawaii.
um, fuck, man. But just watching. You know what is kind of fucked up though? You know how they do the countdown show on UFC? Just going back to UFC blowing it with their whole web presence. They just reused the last one.
Of
They didn't like.
course. Why
They did
bother?
like 30 seconds of like, oh, Canada, the heart of fighting or whatever, like did that, and then I was just started watching it and I was like, I've watched this
I've
before.
seen
Like they
this.
didn't film a new one. They just reused it instead of like there's so much new storylines in between. I don't know like if they added shit to the end, but there's so much storylines in between that they could have added to it. And it was just like I was like I remember Ortega doing this charity surfing event before. What the fuck?
I remember Ortega going to this store and buying blank white T-shirts.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fuck, man. I don't know. I, I judging by watching the all of the Max Holloway buildup, I think they might go a little too hard on sparring in their gym. Like they really fucking go hard with the sparring, and like I don't. I just. You don't want to see someone's career cut short, especially with such a young talent, because of how you want to see a guy work hard in the gym, but you don't want to see them having fucking full on fights every day. And I think that's kind of what they do over there. I mean, it's part of probably what's made him a champion, but fuck, man. He's taken a lot of shots, and he's so young still.
Yeah.
His
I
run that he's on is amazing too.
I feel like this fight is either not going to happen, someone's going to pull out, like it's just too
Yeah,
exciting, bullshit's going to happen, or other wild card scenario, we're going to get a boxing-esque finish and there's going to be a draw.
really.
I'm
That's
going
such a. Do you just think this because it's such a good like it's such an exciting two guys like they're perfect dance partners just like fuck Khabib and Tony Ferguson that it's just it's too good to be true. There's just a taint over it.
I don't think I think it's just not too good to be true, but there's an aspect of I'm not totally convinced Holloway is going to be able to make weight and be healthy.
Yeah.
And then the other side of it is just the fighting styles of Holloway's so aggressive and fast, and like you said, Ortega is kind of like he should change his name from fucking T City or whatever it is to Orangutan Ortega. Like he's just
Oh my god.
chill and he's waiting for that opportunity. And I can
He
just
might have the
see,
best jiu-jitsu in the whole UFC, man. Like it's
yeah,
crazy.
I think he's legit. But I just see like as far as like we are talking about how boxing fights are scored.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like this is the kind of fight that's going to go to decision, and it's the kind of fight that there's going to be 3-10-9s to one ten
Yeah.
nine and 1-10-8. Like it's just going to be one of those that just lines up to be a fucking draw.
Just both of their fighting styles just kind of cancel each other out, and
Yeah.
then yeah. I'm going with a fucking. I hate to do this. Okay, so again, cheering for Max Holloway. He reps Toronto, won the championship. I love both these guys, but I think we're gonna see Ortega with first round submission.
First round like that quick.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's his time for some reason, man. He like I just see him being a champion for some
Wow.
reason. I just don't know what it is. I'd hate to see it. I'd love to see it be a 5 round brawl. Obviously, like
Yeah.
that's what I want every fight to be. But it's just like, fuck. I don't know, man. I just think that I think he's got it, man. With and the first round submission is based on nothing. I just always call first round something. Like, it's just that's all it is. So who you got?
I'm going draw. I'm going super fucking wild. I think this is a draw. If I
Dude,
had to go one way, I think it's Ortega. But I think just the way that judging is, and this is
yeah.
probably going to a decision. I think Holloway is going to get 3 10-9 rounds, and Ortega is going to get a 10-8.
Dude,
I don't
please
know.
go put a small amount of money on BetDSI on that.
Definitely
Dude,
going to do
if
that.
you get that, like, we're going to Hooters.
Yeah, we're going to fucking Hooters. We're taking
We're going
pictures
to
with some fucking
Toronto.
waitresses.
Getting knives for pictures at Hooters. Oh, fuck, dude. We've been running this one long.
Yeah, let's wrap this guy up.
Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. Let's talk about my other podcast, Pretty Much Experts. You can find on YouTube, on Pretty Much Experts, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Google Play.
Yeah.
Stu, what about you?
We got the tag-in tournament here in Georgetown, Ontario.
Yeah, baby.
Saturday, December 15th. It's going to be fucking epic day of dodgeball. We're going to have 16 teams, kind of like the Sweet 16 in the March Madness basketball, the college basketball. It's going to, you're guaranteed 4 games, going to have 50-50 draws, gambling wheels, all sorts of exciting shit going on throughout the day. So I'm gonna have that posted on my Instagram, StuartGraham16, StuartGraham 16, and all the info's in there. So if you're in the area, even if you just want to, like, if you can't, even if you just want to sign up as a solo player, email us on there. We have all the information, and hit us up because it's going to be fun. And if you don't feel like playing, come check it out and participate in all the other shit, because the money that we make off of this, if any, like, it's just a fun event to promote the app, and we're going to put more money into building the app and making it better for the users. And we're at a really good spot right now with it, and it's there's a lot of exciting shit in the works. So check out the app, and definitely, if you're in the area, come out to the tournament because it's going to be fun.
Sick. Until then, we'll be back next week. We're Pretty Much Experts. I'm Robert John. We're dudes on dudes. Fucking double fucking plug. We're dudes on dudes.
Did 2 back-to-back podcasts.
It's been a long day.
Taught Skylar how to fucking
Skylar.
What time is it there? 6 a.m.
7 a.m. It's been a long night. Fucking Skylar. Fucking useless brother.
See you next week.
Dudes on dudes. We'll be next week covering these fights and whatever the hell's next in the UFC.
You're so tired.